In a new government report, Obamacare premiums are set to skyrocket on an average of 22% in 2017. The deadline to sign up is Tuesday. Your plan is to repeal and replace it. Can you give me a couple specifics on exactly what you would do?
Well, what we're going to do, first of all, we have to repeal and replace. And you have places like Arizona where it's going up 118%. This area is going to be very high. But over the next year or two, it's going to go through the roof. It doesn't work. So we're repealing, we're replacing. We're going to get rid of the borderlines. We're bringing in competition. You'll have private companies competing like crazy for the health care. And you're going to have very much less expense. I mean, it's going to cost you a fraction of what you're paying right now, and it's going to be good. Obamacare with a high deductible is not even usable. Because the deductible is so high, it's so up there that you're not even, unless it's like really something serious, and even then it's so high. So it doesn't work. It never could have worked. I actually predicted before it was passed, I said, if they ever pass this is never going to work. And it hasn't. We're going to have that. And then for people that can't afford it, because, it'll be much less expensive, but for people that can't afford it, we're going to take Medicaid block granted into the states. And it's going to work out so much better than what we have right now.
What about some of the policies that are popular with Americans right now as far as not precluding those with pre-existing conditions? Do you plan to preserve that?
Yes, pre-existing, we're going to, in one form or another, we're going to, because I happen to like that, so we are going to be able to keep that.
Okay, and what about younger Americans having insurance on their parents' plan till they're 26? What about that one?
Well, we can also do that. We can keep a lot of the things that, I don't say they work, they're very expensive, but they work because they're necessary. I think pre-existing is so important, and we're going to keep that. But what we're going to do is we're going to have competition. Right now there's no competition. Most of the insurance companies are getting out. You have some states where there's only one carrier, one insurer, and they're getting out. They're getting out. There's no competition, so the people are getting just absolutely killed. And it's really not affordable. The governor of Minnesota just said that the Affordable Care Act is no longer affordable. It's pretty tough, and he's a Democrat.
Yeah. I saw that. A new WikiLeaks email shows that a top aide for Bill Clinton pressed donors to steer business and lucrative speaking fees to the former president. What's your reaction to that?
The whole thing is unbelievable. The dishonesty of the Clintons, the dishonesty of Hillary Clinton is just unbelievable. It's coming out in WikiLeaks, and it seems to be getting worse every day. This was a big one, because this is something that's illegal. But it's coming out every single day. The level of dishonesty, to me, when I look at it, the 33,000 emails that are deleted after they get a subpoena, how they got away. And then you have a general, a 4-star general, and the general is now going to jail up to 5 years. This is a 4-star, James Cartwright, General James Cartwright, a highly respected person. He lied once to the FBI. He's going to jail for up to 5 years. She's lied more than any human being's ever lied before, in addition to which she didn't remember 39 different times, which is all a lie too. It's amazing to me. I talk about the rigged system. We have a rigged system, and part of the rigged system is how did she get out of this? What the FBI did is unbelievable. What the Department of Justice did is unbelievable. Even meeting in the back of an airplane for 39 minutes before they make, their decision on her. But the decision was made. No, we're in a rigged system, and it's very bad, but we're going to straighten it out.
Okay. Tell me about the key points for your Contract America plan you said you want to put into place if you become president.
Well, we're going to have term limits. We're going to start with that because these people are in Washington, and all of a sudden they think they own the country as opposed to represent the country. So we're going to have term limits. But so many other things. We're going to have massive tax cuts. We're going to get rid of regulations. You know what the regulations are doing to your business. One of the reasons your area is losing business is because they go to Mexico, they don't have any regulations. They go to other places, they don't have. The regulations are so onerous for these companies that they, in some cases, have no choice. We're going to preserve the Second Amendment because it's under siege. We're going to have great health care, as we discussed. We're going to have a great health care at a fraction of the cost. We're going to strengthen our military very greatly, which you like because you're here, and this is one of the great bases of the world. Strengthen our military. We're going to take care of our veterans. Our veterans are being treated so badly. We're going to have strong borders, and we're not going to let the drugs flow. You have a big drug problem here, but everybody does. Every place in this nation has the same problem. Yours is almost worse than other places, but everybody has the problem. We're going to have a strong border, and we're not going to have drugs pour into our country.
You're ahead here in Ohio right now. Nationally, Clinton is up anywhere from, I guess, 2 to 13 points, depending on the polls. You've said polls really don't reflect reality. Do you think we're going to see a different outcome November 8th than what the polls are showing right now?
Well, I have some polls where I'm up, and then you have some where I'm down, and I think they're dark, what they call dark polls. I think they're fiction. I think they're made up, where they interview people, and they're largely Democrats. Okay, so give me a break. No, I think they're done for a reason. And the ones that have the negative polls are the ones that are very negative toward me and toward conservatism, toward Republicans. Now, I think we're doing very well. We're up in Florida. We're up in Ohio. We're up pretty substantially in Ohio, which makes me very happy. We're up in North Carolina. We're up in a lot of places. And the lines in Florida, they have early voting. The lines are 4 or 5 blocks long. I guess you've been hearing about it. I'm sure you're reporting on it. But the lines are there, and those people aren't there to vote for Hillary. So I think we're going to do very well, and I think we're going to win. We have some polls. One poll just came out where we're 2 points up, and it was a very accurate. Nationally, we're 2 points up. I think we're going to have a big victory. It's going to be very exciting.
A new Fox News poll just came out, and you're up with independents by 13 points. It was just 7 points last week. So the trend right now is in your favor. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I'm happy that you told me that. You just made me very happy before I get out before that large crowd. That's good. Look, independents are so important because they aren't fixed in their views, and they want to get, they want to get it right. That's very, very good news.
Well, I'm glad I could share that with you.
Thank you. No, it's good. You made my day.
In an effort to close the gap with Black Americans, you presented your New Deal for Black America yesterday. Just give me a couple specifics on that.
Well, they're having such a hard time in the inner cities. It's so horrible what's going on with the crime, with the education, with all of the different things. And with the jobs, there's no jobs. And I presented a plan. We're bringing in jobs. We're going to do something on education, which is great. It's called Choice, where they can have choice, because what's going on now with education in the inner cities, it's impossible. You have young kids with tremendous potential, and they have no chance. They have no education. They have the worst education you have anywhere. So we're presenting choice. We're going to get rid of Common Core. We're going to bring education local, where the parents and everybody gets together on a local basis, not out of Washington, because it's not working. We have one of the worst education plans anywhere in the world. We're toward the bottom of the list. We spend more money than any other nation in the world per pupil, and yet we're very close to the bottom of the list. So we're going to change that. We get rid of Common Core, and we are going to have safety. We're going to have security in the inner cities. And we're also going to have incentives for people to really go out and become entrepreneurial and do the job. There's such tremendous potential in the inner cities, and people like Hillary Clinton have destroyed it with their views and frankly with doing nothing. They get the vote, and then they say they'll come back in 4 years. They come back in 4 years for only one thing, for the vote. So I think we're going to do very well with the inner cities. I think we're going to do fantastically well with the African American community. They see what's happening.
Your new hotel was vandalized, and also the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. What was your reaction to that?
Well, it happens. Look, we want to have borders. We have to have borders, and if we don't have a country. We want to have security. We want to have strength and security within our country. We want to have good trade agreements, and there are people that are against some of these things, and it's too bad. The good news is the star, which I'm very proud of to get the star. I never thought I'd be getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, but the star is getting fixed immediately, and in the hotel, that was pretty easy, but somebody came out with a little graffiti on the front, which is pretty sad when you think, because we're putting 1,000 people to work. We had thousands of people building it. So it's pretty sad to see something like that. But sadly, it's part of our society today.
Yeah, the Walk of Fame, the star on the Walk of Fame, it was the guy who, from the Otis family, who said he was doing it because of the unwanted sexual advances that you made towards women. He was doing that to defend those women. What's your thought on that?
Well, number one, there were no advances. It was all a fiction. It was made up totally. It was totally made up. And I tell people, some people say, don't talk about it. I tell people it was made up. Many of them have already been, as you know, debunked. They've already been disproven. But it's terrible. I mean, probably put out by the Democrats, just like As an example, we had in the arenas, we had thugs going in the arena. We said, where did these people come from? It just came out last week that those people came from the Democratic Party. They were put out to make trouble in the arena. So I think they did the same thing with these people that came out of nowhere.
Okay, last question. This may be the most important question. Who are you voting for the World Series, the Cleveland Indians or the Chicago Cubs?
Well, you know, I mean, by the way, I have to say, I'm looking, and I have friends that have the one, but you know, we're in Ohio, and this is a very important thing, so we'll have to go with Cleveland. Do you think?
Good answer.
Cleveland, don't you think? I mean, while I'm trying to win Ohio, I think we have to go with Cleveland. Now, it's an amazing thing what's happened, although it looks like it's going to be a great series. It's going to be a lot of fun. Probably very good for baseball. They needed it.
They do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.